North Korea. A land of mystery, secrecy, and strict isolation from the outside world. But how did this small country, wedged between China and South Korea, become one of the most enigmatic and heavily controlled regimes on Earth? In this video, we journey through history to understand the rise of North Korea, from its humble beginnings to its powerful regime under Kim Jong-un. The story of North Korea begins long before its isolation. Korea, a unified kingdom for centuries, was divided into the North and South after World War II. The seeds of this division were sown in 1945, when the Korean peninsula was freed from Japanese colonial rule. As the Allies defeated Japan, the United States and the Soviet Union agreed to divide Korea into two zones of occupation, an arrangement that would forever change the course of Korean history. By the end of World War II, the Soviet Union had taken control of the northern zone, while the United States occupied the south. This division soon led to the emergence of two ideologically opposed regimes. In the north, the young communist leader named Kim Il-sung, backed by Stalin's Soviet Union, would rise to power. Conflict soon erupted into full-scale war. In 1950, the Korean War began, pitting North Korea against South Korea, backed by the United States. The war ended in a stalemate in 1953, with the Korean peninsula left divided along the 38th parallel. A tense armistice was signed, but no peace treaty was ever established. He imposed strict control over the population, creating a personality cult that revered him as a godlike figure. The state system was built on the principles of Juche, or self-reliance, focusing on military strength, isolation from the outside world, and a centralized economy. As the decades passed, North Korea's leadership became increasingly paranoid, pushing the country into complete isolation. The regime spent vast amounts of resources on military development, building a powerful army and, eventually, nuclear weapons. The military-first policy, known as Songbun, dominated the nation's priorities, turning the country into a militarized state where citizens were constantly reminded of the regime's strength. After Kim Il-sung's death in 1994, his son Kim Jong-il took over. Under his rule, North Korea saw increased economic hardship, particularly during the famine of the 1990s. Despite the struggles, the regime continued its path of isolation, further consolidating its control over the population. Kim Jong-il's son, Kim Jong-un, ascended to power in 2011, bringing with him a new sense of continuity. Under his leadership, North Korea has continued its nuclear ambitions, flaunting its missile tests and defying international sanctions. Today, North Korea remains a state where the ruler is worshipped, the people live under tight control, and any dissent is met with severe punishment. North Korea's isolation has come at a high cost. While the regime claims to be a self-reliant paradise, the reality is one of crippling poverty, constant surveillance, and a cult of personality that demands absolute loyalty from its citizens. Though some analysts see glimmers of change, North Korea remains one of the most secretive and repressive countries in the world. The regime's pursuit of nuclear weapons and its unyielding grip on power continue to shape the future of not only North Korea, but the entire Korean peninsula. From a divided peninsula to a global enigma, the story of North Korea is one of power, isolation, and survival against the odds. As the world watches, one question remains. What will the future hold for this isolated nation? And can the cycle of isolation ever be broken? Closing screen with text. For more in-depth stories on world history, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on North Korea and its future.